What's up, guys? MC Stu here, and today we're going to talk about ship bundles. This is going to be a basic buyer's guide, kind of do's and don'ts, what I recommend in terms of how to go about purchasing some of these in-game items. I'm not going to discuss too much of like which ships are the best or which bundles are the best. I'll give you a couple of my basic recommendations, but there's quite a few different ways to go about purchasing the ships that you want. And I'm going to talk today about the most efficient way to do that and save as much money as possible. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's start with the best way to purchase Zen. Zen will go, well, not on sale, but basically you will get a bonus to your Zen purchase. So for instance, back in May here, they ran for about a week. Was it a week? No, it was a weekend. That when you purchase Zen via an approved charge, so it was MasterCard, PayPal, basically any of your credit cards, PayPal, your normal ways, you would get basically extra Zen when you purchased that with one of those methods, which I'm not really sure what other methods there are to doing that. But essentially, they run sales where the Zen isn't cheaper, but you get extra Zen when you purchase it. I would look out for those. They don't always coincide with what you're looking for. If you're looking for, say, a particular bundle that's either an anniversary bundle, those aren't available. 365 days a year, they're available during just special times when they put them up, or specific MUDs bundles that have lockbox ships and things like that. Those will only come up every now and then. So when you see, if you know that, I'm definitely going to be after some of these things when they come up. If you see a Zen sale come up, you're going to want to go ahead and buy some Zen. Then maybe it's not all of it, you just get a little bit, but that's the best time to buy it because you're going to get a bonus. And in this instance here, it looks like PC will, and this is generally only on PC where you get this, you'll enjoy a 25% bonus on purchased Zen. So basically any Zen that you buy, you're going to get an extra 25% for the regular dollar amount. Obviously, the more you buy, the more you're going to get. So if you're going to buy Zen, buying it during these promotions is the best bang for buck because you're going to get that extra Zen per dollar that you spend on the currency. All right, so first off, let's take a look at the Z Store. So this is where you'll come to purchase basically any of your in-game items that you're going to buy with Zen. And there's quite a few different places to purchase ships and different bundles of ships. And so let's start with the MUDs bundles just to kind of get that out of the way. There isn't any current sales going on here, but we'll just go ahead and cover this. So the MUDs store is something based off of a Discovery episode. MUD was basically a shisty, shady character, and basically this store is kind of themed after that. So all of this stuff is like massively overpriced, and that's done on purpose. They come in and they'll run huge sales on this stuff that brings it more in line with what makes sense with what things cost in the rest of the store. So number one is I would not purchase anything from the MUDs market unless it is on sale. If it's on sale, you're going to see 50% or more in a lot of cases. Now, they sell different bundles in the MUDs market, but they are time sensitive. So right now, I only have something that I can reclaim here. I don't have anything that, or there isn't anything being shown that's a full bundle that you would find here. So let's take a look at what kind of bundles you would find that run and talk about the value proposition there. So here's an example from back in, this was May of this year. So what you'll see is bundles pop up where you can purchase the bundle. The regular price is 295,000 Zen, so $295 basically US, and it's 50% off on sale when it runs. So generally you won't even see this bundle live without it being on sale. And there's quite a few different variations of this bundle with a whole bunch of different ships. Now, the ships that they include in this are going to generally be lockbox, sometimes promo ships, and lobby ships. So with the 50% off sale, we're at $145, $150, which is a lot of money. But if we look at it in terms of, let's say these three ships were like ships you really wanted to have, or two of them were, and the other one wasn't bad. And they do have some combinations of ships that are really good depending on how you play the game. So if you're playing the game for performance and things like that, there'll be bundles that will lend themselves to those ships that have good traits, ships that have good consoles. And then they'll also have bundles where the ships just look great. You're in the game for Star Trek, want to fly ships around, and they'll have those. Now, why this is a good deal, even though it's a lot of money, and let's be clear, this is a lot of money, okay? So I'm not saying, hey, this is, cheap, go buy it. But what I'm trying to do is give you kind of a relative perspective, okay? So, for instance, the Borg Juggernaut, if you were to get this in another way, which it comes out of lock boxes, you're looking at spending $200 to $300 to get it for sure. So the pity point system kicks in somewhere around there, and you potentially could get it within a couple keys, $10 worth. My luck, that's not what happens. I don't generally gamble anymore in this game at all because the drop rates are so low. But on the average, that's what you're looking at is, let's just call it on the low end at $200. That would get you this ship for one character. It's not an account unlock when you get things out of the market. The other option would be to buy it off the exchange. So other people would gamble, get the ship, and put it up on the in-game exchange. Now, the most efficient way, if we're talking in this whole video, we're talking about how to spend real money. So you could grind for EC in-game through in-game ways, build up enough, and buy a ship like this. And if you can do that, obviously that's going to be the free, cheapest way. But you'd be better off working one day at a part-time job if time is something you don't have a lot of in order to get the money just to go ahead and buy the ship. So if you can get it in game like that, more power to you, go for it. But in terms of using real life money, the other option would be to buy keys on the Zen store and sell them on the exchange. That would run you around $100 to do that. So on the average, it'd be about half the cost of gambling for the ship. But again, it's only unlocked on that one character. So if you bought 100 keys, and let's just say, lockbox ships around, 100 million, or I'm sorry, is it a billion? You're running around $1 billion, and they can vary up and down, but let's just call it $100 worth of keys. You could get that ship for about half the price on the average of opening lockboxes, but again, it's only for one character. When you buy through a bundle like this, you get the ship unlocked account wide, and you can reclaim it. Now, the catch is you're having to spend, money to buy 3 ships and the dollar amount for that. So essentially, you're looking at $50 per ship, and it's on an account unlock. Now, if you're looking at this bundle, and let's say you really want this Borg Juggernaut, but these other two are just, you don't care, you don't like them, then you're looking at $150 basically to just get that one ship, and you would be better off just buying the keys, selling them on the exchange, and buying the ship off of the exchange in-game. So, to kind of recap, there's kind of a lot there because there's basically 3 different ways you can get this Borg Juggernaut. Either while it's on sale in the Mud store, along with these other 3 ships, or 2 of these other options. So basically you can pick between any of these options, 3 of them you can pick. Or you can buy keys off the Zen store. It would take you about $100 worth of keys, sell them on the in-game exchange, get the in-game currency EC, and buy the Borg Juggernaut off the exchange. Or you could gamble for it, which again, on the average, is going to cost you around $200. So any which way we kind of look at this, it's a lot of money. Being able to get yourself promo ships and things like that is a lot of money. Your other option, obviously, is to do the event campaign through the whole year and get yourself a free one. You could claim it that way and not spend anything. You would just have to play through the year and through the events throughout the year in order to unlock that. So that's the Muds market kind of in a nutshell. Most of the other stuff that's in it that aren't bundles are going to be items that were previously earnable in game through special events, and then were added to the Muds market. There was no other way to get them, and you can buy it when they're on sale. I think they're overpriced even on sale. And there's nothing really in there that's like super game breaking. I mean, if they added like the DPRM or some, I don't know, some traits maybe or something like that, then maybe I would spend that kind of money. But regardless, the Muds market in general is overpriced. These bundles are a good deal if you have $150 you're willing to spend on the game, and there's 3 ships here that you really want, being that they're all going to be either lockbox, promo, or lobby ships. So from a relative value standpoint, these are good deals because you're getting them account unlocked at basically $50 a ship. And again, I just want to reemphasize, it's still expensive. $150 is a lot of money. So that's the Muds market. Ship-wise, I'm not going to go through all the other individual pieces that are in the Muds market. But take it or leave it. That's my advice on that. If you're looking to get a hold of some promo ships, you have money to spend on it, I would look for a MUDs bundle that pops up that has, at least, 2 or preferably 3 of the ships that you want, and purchase it that way, because you're going to get them essentially at $50 a piece on account unlock, which is much cheaper per ship than any other method of gaining access to lockbox, promo, or lobby ships. All right, so we've talked about how to buy Zen, when to buy Zen, and we've talked about the MUDs market. I've gotten a few questions about some other bundles in game, and so what we're going to talk about is the cross-faction bundles. This is something that I would recommend steering away from. And what the cross-faction bundle is essentially the same ship, but the variant for each of the different factions. So you got the Klingon, Fed, and the Romulan version of basically the same ship. Now, a few years back, they made it to where the different factions can fly the other factions' ships. So what that means now is that if I have a KDF character and I want him to have the trait and console from this ship, I can actually have him fly this ship and unlock it, and he can use this ship. So what that means essentially is that if you buy one of these bundles, you're essentially buying the ship, the core ship, and then you're basically just getting skins for this one ship. And since any of your factioned characters can fly any of the ships, let's say you just really like the Klingon one and you purchase this bundle, you could use the Klingon one on your ROM, on your Fed, and vice versa. But with that being said, you can go buy this ship individually. So if you just really like the Klingon version, go buy the Klingon version. If you like the Klingon version and you like the trait and the console that's on it, you can just buy the Klingon version, because all of your characters can fly this ship and get that stuff off of it. So the only reason you would want to buy one of these cross-faction bundles is that if you just really like all 3 of these skins. If you're buying it for, the ship itself, and you only like one of them, then buy the ship individually. Buying the cross-faction, it used to make sense back in the day before different factions could fly the other faction ships. And for instance, back before that happened, if you bought this ship for your Federation character and you decided you were going to roll a Klingon character, you couldn't use this ship, right? So if you had only done Fed for, say, a year or whatever, now you're going to roll a Klingon character, you might not have any Klingon ships that are T6 that you could fly. You might have a whole bunch of Federation ships, but none of those would be useful for your Klingon character. Now, with that wall being down as of a couple years ago, you would now have options where your Klingon character could fly your Federation ships. Now, whether or not you want your Klingon character to fly a Federation ship, that's a whole kind of different discussion there. But I would purchase, ships that you want individually, because basically you're spending an extra $30 to unlock 2 more skins. So $15 per skin when you buy a bundle like this. Now, if it goes on sale, and again, you just really like all 3 of these skins, then, spend your money the way you want. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just letting you know at this point with this kind of a bundle what you're actually getting for the money. And these days it's not as much as it used to be, because again, any of the faction characters can fly any of these ships. So if there's one that you like the Akira, super popular, just go buy the Akira. Don't buy the cross faction, because you're just getting a copy of the same ship with a different skin. All right, next we'll just kind of briefly go through faction bundles. Some of these are great deals. It just really depends on if it's what you're looking for. Again, cost and price is very subjective. I think a lot of this stuff is somewhat expensive, but it is what it is, right? And these bundles aren't any more or less expensive. Again, I would always wait for these to be on sale. You'll see 25 and 35% sales on these. That's the one thing that I would recommend with any of these bundles. The Anniversary bundles tend to be a very good deal. And again, we're talking relatively speaking, right? $175 is what this bundle would cost you right now, not on sale, but you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 C-store ships essentially, and you're getting a lockbox ship, which is the sticks here, plus some of these other goodies. So when you break that down individually, it's a pretty good value. Again, $175 is a lot of money to me, and I'm sure it's a lot of money to a lot of you guys as well. So again, I'm not saying that these are cheap, but these bundles in terms of bang for buck are very, very good. I still think that the 10th anniversary is the best bang for buck, especially if you're newer, you're just getting into the game, you're pumped, and you don't mind spending a little bit of money. If the 10th anniversary comes on sale, that's going to be your go-to. It's going to give you everything that you really need, to put together pretty decent build stuff. And it's going to have all the hero ships you ever wanted, from, the Enterprise D to an Odyssey to a Defiant. It goes on and on. It's just got the best lineup of ships. They're all very decent. They look amazing. They did a really good job with the skins on these, and they're good ships. They're account unlock. So that's the one thing I'll sales pitch it. And again, it's similar price to this kind of thing, so it is a lot of money. Get it on sale. It's going to be the best bang for buck. It's still a lot of money. So I'm going to keep harping on that, guys, because I'm not trying to come across as a salesman for this stuff here. But I just want to steer you into making sure that, you're not buying, bundles or things where you're just, really not. Some of this stuff probably should have been removed, like these cross-faction bundles. I mean, I don't see a big reason to have those in the store still, since you can buy them individually and you can fly all the ships cross-faction. Prior to that, that makes sense, but a lot of this stuff is still left in game. I've gotten a couple questions on the cross-faction stuff lately, and that's partially why I'm making this video here. But again, the anniversary bundles tend to be the best bang for buck here. So if you're looking at a bundle and you're in a position where, you're loving it, you're just getting in and you want to leg up and get a good deal on a good amount of ships, that's going to be the cheapest way per ship. It's going to be a larger purchase, but when you're breaking it down for individual items that you're getting that are useful and nice, that's going to be the least expensive way to go about doing it. Let's talk real quick about some of the legendary bundles. These for me are kind of hit or miss. This is $120 on sale. It wouldn't be as bad, but again, it's a good amount of money. You're getting two ships, which are very similar to each other, tier 6 coupons. If you just really like them, go for it. I mean, the dollar amounts, again, $120, and you're getting basically 3 ships out of it. Paying about, what is that? $120 divided by 3. It's late. That's like $65, $70 and some change. I don't know. It's a little expensive for me because, the rest of this stuff is kind of like whatever. But I'm also looking at this in terms of performance and gear that I can get. If you're looking at this Android Bridge Officer and you're like, I need to have it, then this value proposition is going to be different to you than it is to me. But in terms of what I generally look at, which is ships, 3 ships for that much money. Now, granted, when this bundle came out, and you've probably heard CasualSAB's been covering this as well, this ship came with a torpedo that was instantly meta, was an excellent spike damage torpedo. It had a very slow firing rate, but it was meant to be used very tactically. It was really cool. I considered purchasing it just for that, but when I looked at, 120 or whatever it was when it was on sale, and I was thinking to myself, that could be nerfed, and it probably will be. I'm just going to wait. And long and behold, it did get nerfed last week. So that's also something you need to be thinking about when you're looking at any of these bundles. If you're buying something that was released, 3, 4, 6 months ago, and it has, some gear on it that's really good, everybody's using, you need to really think about whether or not that's going to be nerfed, because what happens is you don't get any warning from that. Somebody could have bought this ship 2 weeks ago for that torpedo, was loving it, and a week later, that torpedo is not what they bought anymore, and you wouldn't have purchased it if you had bought it for that reason, had you had known a nerf was coming up like that. So that's something you need to make sure you're really paying attention to, especially on some of the newer items, is that if you're buying it for a performance reason, a console, a weapon, something like that, I would recommend waiting a while and making sure that isn't adjusted. And I'm trying very hard not to just go off on a tangent about the nerfs. That's kind of a separate video. I understand things need to be balanced, and I understand that has to happen a lot of times after the fact. But the issue with a lot of these things is that they come out, they sell them, they have them up for sale while they're currently working on adjusting them, and they're not saying anything about it until the hammer drops. And so for me, that's a real problem. I think that's a hair bit shady. Not the fact they have to nerf it, but the moment they decide, hey, we need to look at this, they should let the community know or put some kind of disclaimer. So when I'm looking at this ship and I'm like, man, I really like this Maelstrom, I've heard all about it, I see that, oh, you know what? It's under review. I'm going to wait and see what they end up doing with it, and then I'll decide if I'm going to make that purchase. So that's all I'll say on the nerfs. But the legendary bundles, Again, these ships tend to be pretty good because they're legendary. Again, they're a little bit pricey. So, I mean, here's another one here. This one's at 90. Again, always wait for the sales to buy these things. The 11th Anniversary was a fairly good deal as well. I can't see what the price was because I did purchase this one. It had less ships, but it was less expensive than some of the bigger ones. So these Anniversary bundles are a really good bang for buck. You get very versatile ships that will play a lot of the different roles, and they're going to be legendary status in most cases. I know the 13th Anniversary bundle was not legendary, but for me, if you're going to put money into the game, I know it's a larger chunk at one time, but I would stick to just buying some of these and not buying a bunch of individual things as they come out. That's just me personally. Okay, lastly, let's just take a quick look at some of the expansion packs. We haven't seen a lot added to this in quite a while here. I think the Gemidar stuff, well, actually I think the Discovery stuff was the last added to it. A lot of this stuff is really, really old at this point, and it's pretty pricey as well. The Gamma Vanguard pack, for the dollar amount and the amount of ships you get, it's good, but a lot of these ships are somewhat outdated. Again, I'm not going to kind of go into the value proposition of the individual items in there, just more so at a high level over these packs. I haven't purchased any of these, and I don't plan on doing that. Most of these you can purchase individually, so if there's something you want individually, I would recommend probably going that direction. Let's quickly look at the starter packs as well. Most of this stuff is okay. Some of it I picked up when it came out. This was one of the first leveling ships that you could get, even though it was a tier 5. So I wouldn't buy it now because all tier 6 ships are leveling. I think the best one in here is going to be the Gamma Vanguard starter pack. This is normally $20 and you get a tier 6 ship. Plus some costume stuff that I actually think you get for free now. But the ship's okay, and for $20, it's not a bad deal. It's a tier 6 ship for $20, so it's the cheapest tier 6 ship that you can buy by itself. So in terms of the starter packs, that's probably the only thing that I would really consider in here. So I missed this when we were in the ship bundles. So you have your cross-faction bundles, which we talked about, which are basically a copy and paste of the same ship core. They're just skinned differently. But you also have bundles where there's ships in the game, and we haven't seen these kind of things introduced in quite a while, but they would come out with kind of a family of ships. So in this case, this Pilot Escort series, there are basically 3 variants of the ships, and they are different and they do look different. Most of these are going to come with a specialized trait and console on each one, and the consoles generally are going to make up a 3-piece set. These aren't a terrible deal because you're getting 3 different ships for $60. I generally have steered away from these. I've just picked the one that I like. I think the biggest reason to go about going this direction is if the 3-piece console set was something you were really after and you like the ships, then that would be a good reason to buy all 3 of them. They have a few of these kinds of packs. There was the Odysseys, you have the Nebula bundle, there's some alien weird looking bundles. This is a tier 5 bundle. I would steer clear of any of the tier 5 stuff at this point. Is there still the Odyssey bundles? I know I didn't buy that. You have the multi-mission, these are tier 5s. So there's a few different bundles that you can get in here that are similar ships, but they're in the same class, but they're variants of themselves, of each other, and they're going to be different role, different setup. They are unique ships that look slightly different from each other, but have a different kind of setup. So these are something to consider. Again, this is on an individual basis. I'm not telling you to, these are good deals or not good deals. You really have to look at these for yourself. But these are a little bit different than if you were looking at doing the cross-faction bundle where you're literally looking at the exact same ship. It's just skinned differently. So these are something to consider. Again, I haven't purchased any of these. I generally just pick the one I want and I get it. $60 is kind of steep for me if I'm just looking for a 3-set bundle piece. But at the end of the day, this game can be very expensive. If you have a lot of time, you can grind all of this stuff out for free. But it's a lot of time. And I'm finding, for myself, I got 3 kids, I'm a small business, so I don't have time to do these things. So if I want something, I'm going to buy it. And with the prices of this stuff, a lot of it, I'm just not going to be buying it these days. But, if it's stuff you got to have and you got the money, pick it up. if you want to grind for free, I mean, we're talking serious amount of time. Now, you know, if you got the time, go for it, and you're loving it, go for it. You can get all of this stuff for free in game if you want to put in the time to grind out and, you know, change your dilithium into Zen and, you know, buy things that way. So that's definitely an option to go about doing this. So all right, guys. Well, I think that covers everything. In the ships tab, there's all the individual ships, and I'm not going to go through all of these. Pick and choose the ones that you like. I just wanted to focus on the bundles, the best ways to get the best bang for buck. Essentially, how can you get the most ships for the least amount of money? That's really the essence of my message here and what I wanted to talk about a little bit. So let me know what you guys think. How do you go about buying these? You just, you know, earn them or earn the deal in game and buy it all free to play? Do you buy the bundles? What do you think of the Muds bundles? Again, they're really expensive, but in terms of the alternatives to getting the ships, they're a good value. That doesn't mean it's cheap. And it doesn't mean it's a good deal either. It just means that's a better way than the other terrible ways. So what do you guys think about that? Let me know. I'm always interested to hear from you guys and what you think about these subjects. But again, I think that covers it. If you made it all the way to the end, hit the thumbs up button, hit the sub button. I'd appreciate it. Join the Discord if you need help, if you have questions on this stuff or anything else in game. We have a awesome community in there. There's about 3,000 members of the Discord server. We run giveaways, all those kinds of things. Everybody is welcome. There's a link for that down in the description. All right, guys, until next time, I appreciate you. Have a good one. Hey, guys, appreciate you watching. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, ring the bell, and sub to the channel for the latest news updates and how-to guides.